Got a Toyota Scion 2008. I'm pretty sure you know why it's here. It needs a motor. There's no oil on the dipstick. Oil is pretty much just bone dry. I'm pretty sure this had the same issue. I'm extremely curious to see what happened when I tear this down, when we pull it out. I'm not going to do a whole tear down procedure as far as what happened. I got a motor job I did on a Toyota Camry. These are the same ones as far as for the 2008s, as far as how to free up an unlocked motor. And I did a rebuild on one of these before, which unfortunately it took a crap 7 months later. The oil pump failed. But things happen. I've done plenty of these motors before, and unfortunately, you just get that one out the bunch. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna remove this intake, exhaust manifold, and I'm gonna show you that it has a nice size hole inside of that middle of that block there. And I don't know if the motor is completely locked up, but we're going to find out. I have to pry this heat shield back. I'm gonna try to get this motor out with having to drain the AC freon or refrigerant, but I know I shouldn't have to. I should just be able to take the compressor, let it hang down just like any other engine that I've done on these, but it's pretty tight. We're on the right side of the converter. I do have the fan shroud out. I don't know if anybody noticed, but let's pull this bracket out. That's one of them. There's another one on the driver's side there. Oh, shoot. I'm not sure if it picked this one up, but here's the one on the driver's side. Right, the down pipe. This is a crazy size down pipe. It looked like a 2.5 inch down pipe. I had let these down pipe bolts soak for like a couple days. I used some, I think it's like freeze out or something. So it was called Freall. That's what it was called. What was it? So we're done with that. We can take the manifold out. So this thing should be loose. Alright, here's our brake here. I'm pretty sure you've seen that. It's just the nice clean hole there. So more than likely, obviously this had the oil consumption problem. Uh, these are very common. This is one of the rare cases where I've seen the motor actually put a hole in it, like it just messed up. So they've been riding on it a while with it knocking. Likely, what I'll experience what I'll visually see when I pull everything out is I'm pretty sure the journals will be fine on the cam. The top end should be okay. The piston oil rings should be essentially like sludge, like built up with sludge and collapsed. They wouldn't protrude from their ringland like the piston ring would. They wouldn't freely expand out and have good mating contacts with the cylinder walls. So when I pull the rings, pull the pistons, those pistons should be just like seized up, and it would be just like if you rub it vertically, it would feel as though they're mended with the cylinder wall clearances. So that's what I'm thinking, because that's normally what happened. The rings will seize up, be built up with sludge, and the oil will bypass those compression rings and enter the combustion chamber and get burnt off. In combination with inevitable oil consumption, you got the PCV system. It does have a new PCV valve up there when I looked at it, so that's a good indication that somebody tried to remedy the oil consumption issue with a new PCV valve. Then you got here the valve seals. Not to say that they're bad, but you know, that white soot on there is a good indication that it's probably been consuming oil, but it's not too terribly bad. But I mean, that, you know, plugs will tell me everything. So when I get this motor out, I'll be able to see all that stuff when we pull it apart. Let me see if I can rotate the crankshaft. It was a no-go on rotating the engine. I got one more fastener to get the oil pan out, and we're gonna see what it looks like down there. And I didn't bother to drain the engine oil. I just don't think there's anything in there. It's just bone dry. Let me get a pry bar. Oh shit! God damn it! I was wrong. All right, don't ever judge a book by its cover, I guess. Oh shit! You know what? This is, well, I got studs in there. And that glue's gonna hold it in place. Let's drain the oil. I just knew I wasn't gonna get an oil bath, but yeah, hey, it is what it is. That's a lot of oil in there. Oh shit, what in the world? Oh, is that a washer or a chunk of metal? No, that was the washer. Damn, I was wrong. I just knew it wasn't the oil in there. I'm typically wrong anyway, so. I'm wrong on a lot of occasions. So it wasn't that much. It was like a quart, I want to say, quart and a half. Good God Almighty. Golly. Man, everything is like completely destroyed up in there. So check this out. This is everything. This is the wrist pin for the piston. There's a piston ring. I want to say, damn, the actual fastener broke the tip. The tip is like broken in half. This is for the balance shaft here. These have washers on it. That was the oil ring for the piston I just pulled out. Here's a piston ring here. Now this is an oil ring here. It's got double groove in there. There's a spring that goes in between there. Yeah, there's the oil ring right there. Let's get this stuff pulled out. So there was that's where that other fastener went to that was in the oil pan right there. Now I'm gonna trying to get this. Let me see, there was one more fastener. One of these were, there you go. So this is the balance shaft for what was remaining of it. That literally broke in half. Probably should dump this oil out in case anything falls. Splashes everywhere. I'm missing one. So I got the balance shaft out. The block is actually cracked right here. I'm hoping that the balance shaft, being that it was all distorted and the chunks caused the gear that drives the balance shafts, that's what caused the engine to lock up. So let's see if it'll rotate now. Cross your fingers. Oh shoot, don't look like it. Let me spin it. Oh, damn it. Let me spin it backwards. Nope. Alright, let's have to go forward. Damn. Wow, I can see the valves. Let me show you. There's the valves for the cylinder head up there. Here's the gear that drives the balance shafts. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to do some scavenging here and see what's causing it to lock up still. It might be this. Might be my reason why. I might just break this loose because this seemed like the only obstruction here or impedance. Let me see what I can do. Look like lightning. We got a chisel here and I'm gonna try to break this loose. I got part of it out. Should look like the only thing. Let's break this loose. Oh gosh. At least it's a cast, not a I like to say. a cast iron block. Alright, let's see what happens now. Damn, I was hoping that'll work. Nope. Man, that's a no-go. I'm gonna try removing the rod cap next here. Loosen it up what I can. Hopefully that'll maybe relieve some pressure. Get whatever I can loose. Might get lucky. I got lucky here. Okay, so I got lucky. So that rod cap likely was why it was so locked up on the number 1 side. We're going to completely remove this rod cap, and I can proceed with removing the engine as normal. The main thing is I need to be able to get to the torque converter, all the fasteners holding into the transmission. Once I get all the bell housing bolts loose. I'm gonna take this cap off and we'll see if it's spun or not. So I got lucky because I mean I don't have as much room as I do with the Toyota Camry to remove this engine bottom half. Yeah, this one, I feel like it's spun. Ouch. Yeah, that rod, that's why. Okay, so I should be able to rotate with this with no issues now and proceed with removing this engine. I got the motor out, and I want to tell you it was a pain in the ass. This is not a Toyota Camry where you have a lot of space. It is a Scion, which I want to say has probably about 2 inches less of what you would probably normally get out of a Toyota. I mean, just probably like 1 inch on the passenger side and probably like another 3 inches in the front. That makes a world of a difference. And I don't even know how anybody would get the intake off if they had to remove it with the engine in the bay, because I'm gonna have to put the intake on once I get the motor probably 3/4 of the way in there before I get it stationed, and just kind of work around the intake as I get everything hooked up in the back for the power steering. I mean, for the most part, everything went okay. I still cursed a lot, for the exception I did damage the radiator, and you probably won't be able to see it, but there's a little nick, that little water spot right there. My light fell, and it just nicked it, and I'm like, I saw a little bit of drip. Hey, I mean, it happens. I'm gonna pay for it. I got a brand new one on its way. So the car's 2008. It's well over like a 12-year-old radiator. The radiator's new on me. So it's no big deal. That's the least of my worries. I've been through worse. Another thing with the CV axle, as far as putting the motor back, you want to make sure it's positioned properly, because there's a lip here on the back that you gotta clear, and that happened quite a few times with some of the other Toyotas. No big deal. Then you've been through it once, twice, 3, 4 times, then it's not as bad going around again. But this is a Scion, and like I said, it's tight. So hopefully, once I put it back in there, I'm gonna try to clock it to clear that lip on the engine, and hopefully it'll go in there like it's supposed to. Worst case scenario, I gotta pull the CV axle out, pop it back in there, no big deal. That's the least of my worries. So I got the newer motor here. It's got 93,000 miles on it, allegedly. I say it could have definitely looking a lot better, but I have never got a bad engine from the place I get my motors from, and you know, she did get a 1-year extended warranty on this one too. So I'm gonna replace the water pump, of course, all the necessary things while it's out. That's gonna be replaced. The pulleys are okay. You know, they don't continue to roll. They greased up pretty well. And I'm gonna assume that little leak here was probably from a valve cover, which I'm putting new gaskets on there. But I'll find out momentarily. Maybe when they clean the motor, it just left a little bit of residue. Not a big deal, but it looked okay for 93,000 miles. I'm just not cool with that sludge build up there. But I put a 140,000 mile engine in the one I had the warranty replaced, because the engine I rebuilt broke. So after 7 months, and I just did its first oil change yesterday. She had dropped it off, and that motor had 143,000 miles on it, and it held oil perfectly fine with 530 weight semi-synthetic blend. So that worked out very well, and that was 3,500 miles driven. So I don't think that oil has any issues. So man, I'm gonna get everything transferred to the other motor, get the water pump on the other motor, and get everything ready to get dropped in, because I think I'm pretty much done for the day, sorta. Well, as far as what I'm gonna record, I still got quite a bit to do, and I'm gonna try to finish this up tomorrow and make this all one go in 48 hours, well, in 2 days, because I got a lot of other work for the weekend. But other than that, I don't think there's anything really to update. I'm gonna pull that motor apart, and we're just gonna tear down and inspect that and see what happened. That's what we can do in the future. So look forward for that video, and hopefully by the next 7 days, I'll have the new radiator in there and this engine running perfectly fine. So I'm gonna let it circulate, do its thing with probably like a 75-25 water mix, and you know, so I can at least let this new engine go through some heat cycles before I exchange this radiator. We'll see what happens, but I'll update in about a week or so. Other than that, hit that link, subscribe to the channel, stay informed, have every show of my work. See you next one.